All right, guys, good morning. We're going to go ahead and or good afternoon, I guess. We're going to get started with our history. We're now in chapter 4, lesson 2, food producers. So if you guys do not have your social studies workbook, you can follow along with me online. If you do have your workbook, go ahead and get it out and look for lesson 2. Lesson 1 was on pages 108 to 111. So look for lesson 2 and someone let me know in the chat what page lesson 2 is on. There's also 5 of you or so who have not taken your lesson 1 quiz. So you need to make sure you get those completed. Chapter 4, lesson 2. If you can type it in the chat, what page lesson 2 is on. Perfect. I have page 114. So we're going to start on page 114, guys. You know where chapter, do you know where chapter 2 or lesson 2 ends, guys? Can you look for the ending of it? Just put that in here. Why is it that my computer is so slow? Give me 1 second, guys. We're on page 1. I was just working for me. Okay, page 114 to 117. Okay, if you have any questions, go ahead and type them in the chat. If you're using your history, social studies workbook, we're on pages 114 to 117. Let's start out with our vocabulary words for lesson 2, food producers. All right, your vocabulary words are, if it will load. Okay, here we go. Okay, producers. Producers are a people or a person who makes or grows the things that other people need and want. So if you produce something, you make something or you grow it. To harvest means to pick crops like vegetables or fruit. You're picking them. You're getting them from where you grew them. And then natural, from nature, not made by people. The big idea, I will know farmers use the land to produce food. Now, name your favorite fruit or vegetable, draw a picture showing where you think it comes from. So you don't need to draw a picture, but you're going to talk about it. So I'm going to put you guys into breakout rooms with 3 people. You're going to be put into breakout rooms of 3, and you guys are each going to talk about your favorite fruit or vegetable and where you think your fruit or vegetable comes from. All right, we are now going to start reading about producers.
Who are producers? Producers are people who make or grow the things that other people need and want. Producers make the furniture, dishes, and clothes people use. They build the homes where people live. Other producers make food for people to buy and eat. Bakers make bread. Cooks prepare soups. Cheesemakers produce cheese and yogurt. 1. Reading check. Use evidence from text. Highlight 2 things that producers make for people to eat.
So producers are people who make or grow things. So your parents might be producers. They might produce things for their business that they own or a company that they work for. Okay, look around your house. All of the things around you had to be produced in some way. For example, like I'm using a table for my computer. My table was produced by people who make furniture. The computers you guys are all using, those computers were produced by technology people who build computers. If you have bananas in your kitchen or other types of fruit or vegetables, maybe some of the favorite fruits and vegetables that you guys like, those were all produced by farmers who work in farms to grow those fruits and vegetables. So everything that we own is produced by someone. The clothes that we're wearing, the shampoo that we use, the snacks that we eat. Now, highlight 2 things that producers make for people to eat. So what are some things that people eat? What are some things that people eat? Type it in the chat. What are some things that people eat? Two things that producers make for people to eat. What are some things here that people eat? Type it in the chat. I'll give you a hint. It's in the second paragraph. Very good. Bread and cheese. There's also some more. You only need to highlight two, but there's more. So Ava said bread and cheese. There is more though. There is other food that people can eat. Yogurt, very good. And there's no, bananas are right, but I don't think I see bananas here. Fruit is right, but I don't think I see fruit here. There's one more. I'll give you a hint. It's in the second paragraph, the third sentence. Soup, very good, Sierra. Awesome. Let's move on. So here there's a builder who is building a home for someone.
The role of farmers. Farmers produce most food that people buy in stores. Some farmers grow fruits and vegetables like tomatoes, lettuce, and strawberries. Other farmers raise chickens for meat and eggs. Others raise dairy cows for milk. Farms in the past were usually small. Farmers had horses or oxen to help them plant crops. Many farms today are still small, but some are large. Farmers now use big machines. These help them do their work. Word-wise. Highlight in yellow a word that means the same as large. Highlight in pink a word that means the opposite.
Okay, let's do that before we do the reading check. Okay, what is a word that it means the same as large? So look for it as we reread this, and then look for a word that means the opposite of large. Here, if you guys find it, type it in the chat.
Farmers. Farmers produce most food that people buy in stores. Some farmers grow fruits and vegetables like tomatoes, lettuce, and strawberries. Other farmers raise chickens for meat and eggs. Others raise dairy cows for milk. Farms in the past were usually small. Farmers had horses or oxen to help them plant crops. Many farms today are still small, but some are large. Farmers now use big machines. These help them do their work. Word-wise. Highlight in yellow a word that means the same as large. Highlight in pink a word that means the opposite. 2. Reading check.
Look for a reading check after. Very good. Big is another synonym for the word large. And then highlight in pink a word that means as the opposite of big. What would be the opposite of big that we see in this paragraph? Very good, Maylee, Danica, and Ava. Small. So I'm going to highlight that in pink. Okay, question number 2, reading check. Let's look at it.
Look at the picture of the farmer. What kind of food grows in the field?
Go ahead and type it in the chat. What food is this farmer growing? They're not apples. Tomatoes. Very good. Apples actually grow on trees. Tomatoes grow on vines. So these are actually tomatoes, not apples. I know they kind of do look like trees, but you can tell they're not trees and they're actually tomatoes because like right here, these are I think called Roma tomatoes. And then you can see here she's picking and they're not trees. They're close to the ground. And then also here, these usually a tree would be much bigger and the apples would be smaller. So because these are big, we know that they're tomatoes on a vine. All right, let's go ahead and go to the next page. Planting and harvesting.
Planting and harvesting. Farmers need resources or supplies to produce food. Natural resources are air, sunlight, water, and soil. Capital resources are money and tools such as tractors. Human resources are workers who harvest or pick the crops. Quest connections. Describe the kind of work done on a farm. Different crops grow best at different times of the year. Some
All right. And then you know what we're going to do? We're actually going to watch a little video.
Orchards, vineyards, and even ranches are all types of farms.
Wait, really?
Yeah, not all farms grow crops, and not all farms have livestock.
I wish I went to livestock. I heard that concert was awesome.
I think you mean Woodstock, Gus.
Oh, yeah, livestock means animals on a farm. Duh.
Actually, Woodstock was on a farm too.
Wow, that's right. Actually, I think we need to move on. Start the video.
Gus, I wonder about you sometimes.
A farm is a section of land that is used to grow crops and sometimes even raise animals called livestock, not Woodstock, Gus.
Farmers are the people who grow these crops or raise the animals.
Farmers work really hard and work very, very long hours.
Farming and farmers are important for all humans on our planet.
Hey, guess what? Did you know that there are many different types of farming?
Farms with land used to grow crops for food are called arable farms or arable land.
A farm that is used for raising animals for food is called a pastoral life.
Farms come in all different sizes, from small to very large.
You see, some farms are only for the people that live there, but then again, some farms, especially the large ones, sell their products to markets as well as other people.
Hey, guess what? Did you know that farming has been around for nearly 10,000 years?
The first farmers started by raising animals to help them to grow small crops as well as food.
Over many years, people discovered what crops to plant and what animals to raise, depending on the area their farm was located.
Before the 20th century, many American families actually lived on a small farm.
They raised almost everything they ate and sold what remained of their crops and or livestock.
Nowadays, there are much fewer farms, but the ones that are working produce more crops and livestock, which again are the farm animals.
This is because many advancements in the tools farmers use and in the way farmers grow crops, especially tractors, which help harvesting and planting.
And the improvement of plant species and fertilizers has helped to increase the harvest of major crops like corn, soybeans, and wheat.
Even livestock care and breeding increased due to advances in scientific research with the animals and how to take better care of them.
Farmers who live in dry areas use artificial watering called irrigation, and we'll learn a bit more about irrigation soon.
Some farmers use chemicals to help keep their crops free of pests and create a larger harvest of these crops.
However, the use of some chemicals can harm people and even harm the environment.
Because of this, some farmers do not use pesticides. These farmers are called organic farmers.
Hey, guess what? When you think of a farm, many people think of cows. And did you know that one single dairy cow can produce 1,500 gallons or 6,000 quarts of milk in 1 year?
It takes a farmer about 15 to 20 minutes to milk one cow, and they must do this about 2 or 3 times a day. Wow.
And most likely, you probably drink your milk cold. But when the cow is milked, the milk from the cow comes out at about 97 degrees Fahrenheit.
That's
Hey,
really
guess
poor
what?
milk.
Did you know that on a family farm, everyone must help to farm and do all the work?
In the summer, adults are usually in the fields before the sun comes up and will stay out until the sun goes down, especially during harvest season.
Children help as much as they can with chores like planting, weeding, harvesting, gathering eggs, and feeding the livestock.
And many times people are hired to help with some of these chores, and those people are called field hands.
About 100 years ago, one farmer could usually grow enough food to feed only a few people.
But nowadays, farms can grow enough food to feed up to 100 people.
And these farmers sell their produce and livestock to grocery stores, processing plants, farmers markets, and even farm stands.
If you remember, earlier we mentioned that farms need irrigation. And that is because water has always been a major problem for farmers, whether it is too much or too little water.
And for example, farms where there is lots of rainfall, well, that can wash away rich soil, as well as small seeds and baby plants or even crops.
And in very dry climates, farmers have to figure out how to get water to their plants.
This is when farmers will use pipes and complicated sprinkler systems to get the water needed for their crops.
Some of the major crops that are grown in the United States of America are corn, wheat, potatoes, soybeans, and sugar beets.
Hey, guess what? Did you know that most of the fruits and vegetables consumed in the United States actually grow in California? And this is because of its fertile, rich soil and warm weather.
Did you know that some people become farmers because they come from a family of farmers and have been passed down from generation to generation?
For example, a father may pass down his knowledge of soil, animals, crops, and weather to his children.
And this is why some farms have been around for many, many years. Some have even been around for hundreds of years. And they'll continue to pass down from one generation to the next.
Well, hey, guess what? Now we all know about farming, farmers, and what farms are.
Thanks for watching, and make sure you smash that thumbs up button. It really helps out our channel.
Make sure you subscribe.
Bye!
All right. So now that we've learned about farms and what kind of work they do, let's continue reading.
Crops need more land or water than others to grow well. Some crops, such as strawberries, must be quickly harvested when they are ripe. Then the food will be fresh in the stores for people to buy. Other crops last longer and can be stored. 3. Reading check. Talk about the picture with a friend. Identify a natural resource, a capital resource, and a human resource.
Okay. So natural resources are air, sunlight, water, and soil. So, well, we can't see the air, but we know it's sunlight. We don't see the sun, but it's all lit up. So we know that there must be sunlight. We don't see any water, but you need what we know that there is water for the plants to grow. And then here we can see the soil. So that's the natural resources. Capital resources are money and tools such as tractors. Okay, well, here's a tractor. I see a tractor here. And then a human resource are workers who harvest or pick the crops. And here are the human resources. They're the human resource. They're the people who are working in the fields. All right, we are on our lesson 2 check. Main idea and details. What are the 3 kinds of resources farmers need? You can go ahead and unmute. What are the 3 resources that farmers need?
Sunlight,
Okay, so that's a natural resource. So sunlight is a part of natural resources. Okay, what else?
water, and soil.
Okay, so that's going to be a natural resource. So the question was, what are the 3 kinds of resources? So water, sunlight, soil, air, those are all natural resources. Tell me the 2 other kinds of resources. I'll give you a hint. Another one is a capital resource. That's money and tools. What is the last one?
Harvest.
It's the workers who harvest. What is that called? Human resource. So your answers are natural, capital, and human resources. I typed it in the chat for you guys. So question number 4. What are the 3 kinds of resources farmers need? They need natural resources, which is like air, water, sunlight. It's things that come from earth. Capital resources, which is like tractors and money. And then human resources, which are our workers. Okay, why are farmers important producers? Why are they important producers? Producers are people who make or grow things. Why are farmers important? What if no one was a farmer? What would happen?
We won't have food.
Very good. We would have no food.
We will have no food and water.
Yeah. Well, we might have water, but yes, a lot of usually but farmers are the ones who they usually grow things or they take care of livestock. So they take care of the cows, they take care of chickens, they take care of fruits and vegetables.
And sometimes cats and dogs.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yum.
how farmers find animals?
They buy them.
How?
So, I mean, well, we have animals that live out in the wild, but a lot of the animals that farmers need, they'll start out with some, like maybe they'll buy like 100 chickens. And then the chickens, once they buy those chickens from someone else, the chickens will, maybe they'll start having their own chicks, their own babies, and then they'll just keep making more chickens that way too.
Actually, I always wish I have a pet because I don't even have a dog, not even a cat.
Yeah, pets are very fun, but definitely farm animals are most farm animals are a little different than pets.
Yeah, and
Number
also I don't
6.
even have
Understand the quest connections. Think about what farmers do. What can you say in your ad about Farmer Fran's fruit and vegetables? So think about what farmers do. What can you say in your ad about Farmer Fran's fruit and vegetables? So let's look at Farmer Fran again. So here is Farmer Fran. You can say that their fruits and vegetables are big and juicy. We can use describing words. Big. We can use the words juicy. We can use the words fresh. Oops. So when you guys are creating an advertisement, you guys are trying to persuade someone that what you have is good or what your opinion in is good. So you're going to want to use words that appeal to them. Like in your advertisement, you wouldn't want to use the words rotten or yucky or old. You would want to use words that persuade people, advise them, that encourages people to get what you are trying to sell. All right, guys, that is it. We are going to now transition. You guys have your art, health, social, emotional learning activity for the week to make sure you get done. You are going to read any book you'd like for 20 minutes. If you have not done Read Theory, make sure you do that. If you have not done yesterday's social studies quiz, you need to do that. If you haven't done your digital quick check or your BTBF, you need to do that. If you haven't done your 5 things, you need to do that. If you haven't finished your digital trifold or any of your CRC or your turns, you need to do that. And if you want, you can also study for your selection and comprehension test for tomorrow by rewatching our YouTube video. All right, guys, that is it for today. If you guys have any questions, you can stay. If not, I will see you guys tomorrow morning.